Hello, my name is AJ. I'm your HYPOXiX coach for today, and we have level 2.5 HYPOXiX Deep Squat. This is a level 2 mobility exercise and a level 5 engaged released mobility breathography. It's an interesting combination of our engaged exhale, so we're connecting to that engagement of those deep abdominals, we're loosening our ab ribbon, and a released inhale where we are performing stacked inhalations, we're releasing our pelvic floor, we're releasing our abs, and again using the ab ribbon as tactile feedback, because as we perform that released breath, you're going to feel the ribbon around your waist tighten, create some tension between the abdomen and the ab ribbon as you go through your stacked inhales. Now this is the highest level of this particular breathography within our HYPOXiX Deep Squat. 7 stacked inhales, little sniffs of air, staccato sniffs of air through the nostrils, stacking air in the lungs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Teeny sips of air. It doesn't need to be a drastic amount, but we're improving our lung capacity and we're working on releasing our abdomen and releasing our pelvic floor as we go through that breath pattern. So let's practice our breathography once and then we'll integrate it into the mechanics. So we have 1 engaged exhale, no zip up activation. You just go right into that blow, hiss, soft shish, loud shish, loosening your ab ribbon, and then going into those 7 stacked inhales. And feel your pelvic floor on the seat that you're sitting on right now. I want you to feel the difference between a lifted and an engaged pelvic floor as you loosen your ab ribbon, and then gently dropping your pelvic floor as you go to those stacked inhales, okay? So let's take our engaged exhale in 3, 2, 1, first inhale, and blow. Loosen your ribbon, 7 stacked. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then release. And we're repeating that 4 times in a row. 4 times in a row. Okay, so now let's get to our squat. You may notice that I'm on an apple box right here. I'm about 12 inches from the floor. That's the main difference between level 1 and level 2, is that your level 1 beginner level is on a standard chair height, or I generally perform it on an 18-inch stool. This is about 12 inches, maybe a little more, maybe it's 14 inches away from the ground. And so you can mimic that by sitting on, some yoga blocks on top of a pillow or something like that. Just know that we're deeper. The hips are just a teeny bit below the knees, and that's crucial. And if you can't quite get control here, then just go back to level 1 and start in that standard chair height. Okay, so the feet are 3 foot width, 3 foot lengths apart. That's your width. That's your stance. The feet are externally rotated about 15 degrees. You're lifting the arches of the feet as if there's blueberries in your arches. Lift them, lift them, lift them, and then you're pulling them together. So if the floor was slippery, those feet would pull right together like that. So you're lifting the arches, and you're pulling the feet together, and then you're pushing your knees backwards. So you want to feel that stretch on the inner thigh while engaging the inner thighs. That's the most effective way to mobilize. And we want to mobilize these key tissues so that we can get down to the ground in our deep squat, because these 4 levels of the HYPOXiX Deep Squat are intended to bring you to a place where you have the mobility and the stability in your hips, in your knees, in your ankles to be able to get down to the floor in a deep squat, just taking it 1 step at a time. So driving the knees backwards. Now in level 1, we were all the way up here. Level 2, the idea is that you hinge forward a little bit, no movement in your low back, of course. You're hinging forward. So right now I'm stacked right on top of my sit bones. Now I'm hinging forward. I'm forward of my sit bones, and I'm gently rolling forward closer to my pubic bone so that I'm forward and I'm really effectively mobilizing those inner thighs. Now, just know that when you hinge forward, there should be no movement in your low back. So I don't want you to round from the low back to get the arms here. I would rather that you stay upright at first and keep that spine in neutral with no movement in the low back as you slide the arms down. If you can get those elbows connected, that's the advanced version, wonderful. So the feet are pulling together, the elbows are driving back, forward on the sit bones. Now the gaze, your visual system always worked for the benefits of the eyeball muscles, which don't get worked enough these days on our smartphones, and also our nervous system and cognition. For today, we're a panoramic view. Panoramic vision has been shown to activate the parasympathetic nervous system. That's your rest and digest. If you can activate that in your mobility exercise, you're going to more effectively mobilize your muscles because of how the nervous system connects into your muscles. So panoramic, you're simply finding a point on the right, finding a point on the left. Get specific with it, relax your eyes, and try to keep that in your visual window the entire time. Okay, so panoramic view, Feet are pulling together. And now one more element. On the soft shish and loud shish of our engaged exhale, we're going to gently raise our pelvis off the seat and hold off as we go to our released breath, where we release the pelvic floor, we release the abs, and we don't sit back down until the blow. Now, it's key that when you go to that released breath, that you don't change the position of the pelvis. You're maintaining pelvic stability, you're maintaining rib stability as you go to the released breath, just to show that you can maintain the stamina, the endurance of the muscles that need to be held even when you release those muscles. So we start with a contracted pelvic floor and a contracted abdomen, and then we move to a released pelvic floor and a released abdomen in that position. Now, if you don't quite have the strength or the mobility to get up off of this lower seat at this time, totally fine. Stay on the seat and just reduce the pressure underneath your sit bones, intending to get up, visualizing yourself getting up, and over time you'll get there, you know? So even this is a progression, being lower and more forward on the sit bones. Okay, let's take our 4 breath cycles. Panoramic vision, feet pull together, blueberries under the arches, pushing back into the knees. Big inhale. Blow. Loosen your ribbon, 7 stacked. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and blow. Pull those feet together, 7 stacked. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Loosen your ribbon, now tighten. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Loosen your ribbon, 7 stacked. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Wow. Really nice work.